exist, right? Man with a capital M. I mean, but yeah, this whole notion of nature with a capital N, right? Okay, and that used to be mind with a capital M, right? That those two used to be the same concept, right?
Where is that? Who are you referencing to say that mind and nature are the same thing?
So many people. I could reference Panpsychism in the West by Dr. David Skirvina. You'll get a
Well,
whole history of people who've claimed that. Right?
well,
Yeah.
I understand the idea that mind is all, but isn't there a more nuanced differentiation between nature as the human experiences it? Like, when does nature cease to be material? Is it the transcendental? Are you saying transcendental phenomena is nature as well?
Well, I don't believe in transcendental. But I'm just saying that nature with a capital N,
Oof.
right, used to include mind, right, with a capital M, but now it doesn't. Right? That was then placed in man subsequently. Right? And I think that's the movement that Skolmowski is referring to. Right now, what do I think about all of this? If that's what you're asking,
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, because
oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
you
yeah,
have value in your opinion.
yeah. What I think is that you know, obviously, I think that nature is mind, right? So I think that I don't think matter exists personally. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Dude, that that kind of reminds me of when this is this doesn't this is not a one to one, but it reminds me of Norm Macdonald saying that one time he doesn't believe in DNA. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
yeah, but
I
I
don't know.
agree with
I
you.
don't. Yeah, I don't know if he was joking or.
Yeah, but I agree with you. If there's a such thing as matter, yeah, we should get rid of it for sure.
So, okay, that's obviously more nuanced than the general statement. I don't believe matter exists. Like, we have to define that. So, like, you mean it doesn't exist as far as it isn't permanent? Is that what you mean?
Sure.
Because, like, we
And
interact with it, right? Like, there are densities, varying forms of density and subtlety in matter, quote unquote. Like, we can bounce against it and stuff like that. So,
We
what do you mean
seem
yeah,
by
it's
don't
to,
exist?
but we can't
it's
prove that we actually do.
right.
Yeah,
It's in a constant
what you're
state of
talking about.
flux.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about a sensation, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So the proof that most mundane people or profane people would say is you can die. So like I jump off of a building and I smack on the concrete and I die,
Well,
quote
Yeah. The
unquote.
problem. Yeah.
at,
The
at
problem
least
with
at least you've
sensation
been
is
told.
that
Yeah, you've
yeah.
been told you can die.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. The problem with sensation is that there's too much mind in there. So
Well, death be a doorway and time a window.
No, you're preaching to the choir. I'm just saying I'm devil's advocate. I'm playing the profane man here. So I'm asking like what do you mean when you say matter doesn't exist? I would like to hear what that means. Like the definition, your definition of that.
well, I think the first is that nature is intelligent, right? Meaning that it's not matter, it's mind that is what we're dealing with on a fundamental level, right? Is essence with no form, right?
True facts.
So
So you don't believe in the difference between you don't think there's like the prima materia and the prime mover that moves the materia or whatever.
oh
If I
no,
may interject, I think that it's the first great dichotomy that we experience, right? The first false dichotomy, essentially,
No,
the
not
Tai
no.
Chi.
Beat me to it.
yeah,
Sorry, guys.
Aristotle, yeah, he's
Aristotle,
got the
go ahead.
prime
Yeah.
mover idea.
I got interrupted. I got interrupted a moment ago because the bamboo firewall shut me off, and then it let me know that Breakfast Tacos was slandering me on the internet. And I thought, what's that all about? What is your guys' experiences at all, or if any? And I don't mean to interject this here. Just denounce it if appropriate. But if I could get like a moment of feedback, like maybe 1 minute or two.
On tacos.
Well, yeah, the little scenario that's playing out now because he sought to interview me, and then now he's saying that I slandered him, and now he's currently engaged in streaming a slander of me, I believe, but I don't think it's worth even my attention, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, it's interesting that tacos would be engaged in that low levels of skirmish. But yeah, I had a honestly, I had a bad left a bad taste in my mouth yesterday. Him bringing Manar reports to the Talcott show, so there was some weirdness there where it seemed like pretty larpy. Him bringing
Yeah, that was
a pretty contentious subject to be, for Jack to life coach him or whatever. So yeah, they have some larpy things going on the internet.
Probably in part to generate numbers and connectivity. That would be my
Exactly.
guess.
Exactly. It's a false ploy to generate numbers. Meanwhile,
do it with you though. I mean, seems weird.
Yeah, I'm pretty low hanging fruit, but I'm willing to take the bait, I guess. So yeah, forget about it. Let's move on. So I think the first great dichotomy that we encounter, the Taiji, is one of the. I mean, it's the question and the answer somehow in and of itself. But does that mean that this technological Symboletica that has been communicating with us currently, is it something that pre-exists our arrival? And is that something that you've thought about?
Is that for TML?
oh yeah,
And whoever
definitely,
cares
yeah.
to respond.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's inevitably. I think right now it seems like it was inevitable. I mean, honestly, I don't think that the past can be changed. I think like time is like one cohesive structure. I mean, so yeah, I don't think there's any going back. I think there's not multiple scenarios to have played out, but I think that the future is definitely open. Ended. So I think that the destruction of technology is nigh, but I think that Hyperborean was getting us on this nature thing about mind and nature, um, and I was extrapolating on some of that. So yeah, I mean, see this whole idea. Okay, so you had brought us to the prima materia and the prime mover, right? So this whole thing that Hegel lays out, right? I'm hugely against this whole thing, right? And I think Spinoza was on the right track. Okay, because it's like what Hegel does is so cancerous, right? Is that he says that nature is the antithesis of mind, and then man is the synthesis of both nature and mind.
I would agree with that. I think that's right.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I think that's right. Well, I don't agree with all of Hegel's philosophy, but that instance, yes, that those moments he describes, yes.
But that would mean that man is a mediator between nature and mind.
Not necessarily. No, he's a byproduct of both. It's like if you looked at it as a syllogy, it would be the bottom, one of the two bottom rungs of the triad, not the top that unifies into the next syllogy.
Yeah, and the Taoists would support that in saying that we're like a workshop of that subtle interaction, and like you said, we're somehow a connected product, as it were.
But yeah, you are more than the man. You are entrapped in the man, or whatever. You're being. It's good because if the mind was nature, then you wouldn't really have as much say as you do. You know what I'm saying? It would be game over. You would be an automaton. That's how I see it. If the mind had full control over the body, if the mind of the macrocosmic, the grand mind, what people call
No,
capital
no, I don't.
G-O-D.
I don't believe in a universal mind, but I think nature is of mind. Not the mind. If so that's so not to get carried away and say nature is the mind, right? But
Hmm.
nature has
Love the God.
mind, right? It's intelligent.
But when you
So
say
are
it's
we, right?
matter,
I think we're intelligent too,
And
right?
there's some
So I think that.
similarity in what you both are saying, but
when you
differently
say
expressed.
it's
Oh yeah,
matter,
yeah.
though, you are equating the mind with matter. They either mind is matter or it's not, right?
I
Well,
would say it isn't.
I don't think that nature is matter,
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
right? So I think nature is mind, right?
So nature is the
Right. But it's
forms.
a mind, right? We're also a mind, right? So it's mind's all the way down. It's turtles all the way down.
True facts right there.
So, but what about the matter, though? So, like the thing that is making the tree in your body, in the surface of the earth, and the oxygen and the neon, the xenon, like all those different
Yeah, I
elements,
mean,
essentially. Like, what is that when the mind evacuates?
That's the
think-
relative conceptual nature of the mind to dichotomize, I guess. I don't know. Go ahead.
Does it
Well,
cease
I
to
think-
exist?
I think atoms
The
are
mind?
conscious,
No.
right? I think there's heart consciousness, there's throat consciousness, there's mind consciousness. You know what I mean? Similar to how the Buddhists say, I think each thing is conscious on its own accord.
Careful now.
right
That
now.
almost sounded like chakras there for a second.
Yeah, it
Oh
does.
yeah.
or
I like,
Sephiroth.
yeah.
Or
I
that.
mean, yeah. I mean, if chakras were like little minds with eyeballs, right? Yeah.
Angelic forces.
So the individual that makes up you, right? Like the I in you, it's minds plural, like it's heart, head, spleen, stomach.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's multiple, consciousness within me that are competing. And you could see how, there's certain people. There's a part of their, that part of themselves is more conscious than the other parts.
Yeah, that gives great veracity to the ancient Taoist perspective of the alchemical horror show that's going on.
I'd say meditation kind of helps bring it into balance. All these consciousnesses.
Yeah, but back to that thing about mind and nature being of one thing, and those philosophers in history, right? Yeah, definitely a lot of I would say most theists and philosophers, they came to that conclusion, although a lot of the new philosophers that are like molded by the scientific worldview, they kind of come to a different conclusion, right? So there's a significant transition, and I think part of it was the reliance of Hegel on things like the Kabbalah, on things like obviously, as I said, right? Descartes, Spinoza, Leibniz, okay, Maimonides, St. Thomas Aquinas, they're all influenced by one guy. One Persian guy named Avicenna.
Yeah, Avicenna was a Platonist, a Neoplatonist.
Exactly. Right. He's the one who combined Neoplatonism with science, right? And this is the huge shift that he made, right? He came up with this whole scientific method. I mean, and they adopted this to form this notion of empiricism, right? So I think obviously, the whole notion of I think, therefore I am, Descartes stole that from Avicenna.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm not familiar with him actually like quote saying that.
Yeah,
but his
yeah.
work implies
Avicenna
that.
quoted. Yeah, Avicenna quoted a thought experiment of a man hanging in space that realizes he's thinking. Right? He doesn't realize his own existence. He has no way to check of his own existence, but he understands his own thoughts. Right? So he says, imagine a man hanging in space where none of his limbs could touch each other and all this of it. He's like suspended in space.
Yeah.
You know, in complete darkness. Right? And he said, without any empirical knowledge, that man would know of his own existence.
The experiencer knowing himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
self-referentiality is that's a fact. I don't know how you could argue that. I think that's the first thing that we can
The first
Well,
thing you realize at that point is not yourself, but the other.
Yeah, but see what he's positing is that take away all of the input from nature, right? So he's saying mind is separate from nature, right? Just in making that point, right? That's the point he's making, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know. I don't think
Seems to be the
I don't
first
know. I
great
think you can
deviation.
interpret it differently. I mean, I haven't really delved into Skrbina's panpsychism, but it seems like you could interpret this in different ways. It seems like you could say that the mind is nature, or you could say that the mind is of itself and participating in nature, like injecting itself in nature, kind of like panentheism.
yeah, I mean, I think it's more closer to panentheism.
So
Than it
on
is.
the side, Neurojack says, did the Kabbalah influence Avicenna? Well, if you mean Kabbalah as in its Jewish
It's the other
form,
way around.
It's the other way around. Yeah. Kabbalah comes post Avicenna, like
absolutely
4 centuries later.
without a doubt influenced the Kabbalah, because all of those thinkers in Spain, especially Solomon Gabarol, right? He was definitely influenced by the Neoplatonists, right? He would have been well versed in the ideas of Avicenna. So anyways, right before we get to Hegel, we have dealt with all of these people, right? And obviously Hegel believed in utopianism, right? And that's why we're focused on Hegel, right? Because he really influenced the Martinists,
Anthroposophy.